This is TWiT.
So what I wrote about this week was a little bit different. So basically, NBCUniversal, which owns rights to all the broadcast coverage of the Olympics, so basically what most of us are going to be watching, unless we are lucky enough to go to Paris, they partnered with Google, and they're going to be incorporating Google's AI into the live coverage. So I just wrote about like, how the heck would that work? There's three kind of components to the deal and like three things we might see on TV. But we can just start with the first one, which is the reporters or the commentators who are on TV are going to be incorporating like question and answer with an AI chatbot during the coverage, which just raises so many questions.
So like weird.
So I know two examples they gave. One is like maybe ways to explain different assets or aspects of the sport. So they were like, oh, the importance of lane assignments in swimming, like it can explain that. And there I'm like, I would hope that the person hired to comment on swimming.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
that's
what the commentator is for.
Right. And the other one is like, backstories on the athletes or like details about them that might come up. And it's like, I would also hope that a professional Olympics reporter would have like a printout on those people. So I don't know, like, how would you feel if you were watching the Olympics and they just like asked a chatbot a question?
I would immediately say, why do I need to hear from these people anymore? I mean, that's why, because in theory, when watching a miraculous moment of human ingenuity, especially like of the body, you are able to appreciate it. And at some point, someone came along and said, you know what's valuable? Somewhat distracting people from this moment of human ingenuity by providing little notes about what the person is doing. And ever since then, like sports commentary and commentary in general were born. And that's because we've agreed, I guess, that it provides extra value. So the moment that you show me that you can't provide value, that I could find that value, seek out that value myself, then I'm going, what's your point? Why are you here? What you're just getting in the way of my brain kind of understanding what's happening in this moment. And yeah, in that way, I don't think that I suppose it feels like it's coming for their jobs, frankly.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I've seen videos of like fake newscasters generated by AI, and I don't know if it's going in that direction. I don't know exactly how it's going to go down. Like, are they going to say like, hold on 1 minute, let me ask Google? Because as a reporter myself, I would have to be paid a lot to do that because I think it makes you look like a fool a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. It reduces your credibility if you're going, totally. I actually don't know this. I need to, because here's the thing. What I like the idea of, I don't like where it's being used. If Google put together, some ads that were showing that if you were just, because, okay, this is kind of multifaceted here, but think about how a lot of the video watching that takes place is done with the volume turned down. You've got captions on almost every video these days because a lot of people just scroll through and they watch the video, but they don't necessarily listen to it. And we're in places where maybe it's not, convenient to be able to listen to what's going on. So imagine someone kind of tuning into an Olympics moment and they're watching it, but they've got other stuff going on or what have you. And they have this moment where they go, it's kind of weird how the person in this lane seems to have an advantage in comparison to the person on this lane. Or maybe they don't even realize that, but they say, how come lanes are assigned, by random? Or honestly, I don't know how it works. But then if Google showed, you could ask the chatbot that, and then you yourself would just know it. I think that's a cool thing. Or what if you remember those old MTV VH1 pop-up video episodes where it would be a reality show, but then they would pop up and it'd be like, the producers actually told them to do this or something like that.
Oh yeah. I love that.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I loved those. The pop-up video episodes were great. You learned so much more. If there was some way to dynamically, insert that. Like, are you curious why this is happening? That is a clever way to kind of show the usefulness of Gemini, but to do it this way, I think it seems bad. You're very right that it makes you look bad.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the Olympics is kind of a sacred space. This is like the one time the whole world comes together and we get like more patriotic. We're like excited about these athletes and, it's in Paris and we're learning about Paris. So Google better not ruin it. Number one, like I don't want to see corny AI stuff. Like we've already had a whole year of that, 2 years almost now. Like just let us enjoy the Olympics. We've been waiting 4 years, but we don't know what shape it's going to take. I think we could definitely expect some kind of ads, social media posts. They listed specific people that are going to like talk to the AI that are commentators. So I'm just like wondering how that's going to play out. I just hope they don't ruin it.
I hope so too. I hope that they don't ruin it as well. I am now, though, curious, and I'm not going to lie that there would be. I wouldn't call it Schadenfreude, because that suggests deriving pleasure from it, and I don't think I'd find it enjoyable to see it crash and burn, but I would find it fascinating. So to our German listeners out there, if you could tell me what the word for that is, not deriving pleasure from someone else's folly, but deriving interest from someone else's folly. That's capitalism. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, interest in the money sense. I don't know where my brain is today. Point is,
well, a lot of people did derive pleasure from Google's AI failures, which is actually what I wrote about, because when they first released their AI powered summaries on Google search, there were so many errors. Like it recommended people glue cheese on pizza to make it stick, which is from a Reddit post like 10 years ago, and like a satirical one, and the AI scraped it and pulled it. There were so many Twitter threads on that. It was told someone to eat a rock a day, told people to just answered questions incorrectly, and some like totally absurd. So in some ways, I think this Olympics thing is a huge deal for Google to reclaim their AI dignity.
So do you think then, you think any of it will actually be live, or do we even know? Do we know if it's going to see, what if it's not? What if these are canned? They've tested them ahead of time. They're in very specific moments.
Yeah. They're going to be partially canned. I wonder if they will be live, because it's such a risk, but also I think they created a custom AI model for NBC's commentators. They're calling it something about the games. It's like the games experience, or I think they're going to try to make it seem like people could do this at home, and that this is how their models work. And they're like always on topic. They're always perfect in answering exactly what you want to know, which is very much not the case for Google's current, just mass market AI products. I think they're going to give NBC a tinier, super Olympics focused model. And then it'll probably know already the questions they're going to ask it, or something, which is a bummer. Wow. It would be so much more fun for it to be live, but I just don't see Google like messing this up,
Yeah. I think what I'll try to do then is wait for one of those segments, watch how it answers there, and then I'll just use Gemini and type in the same thing and see what pops up that way. And then we can see how canned it is. That's interesting. Well, at the same time, this could be a way for Google, because where we've seen Microsoft through OpenAI, and even OpenAI itself and Anthropic, they all seem more focused on not more focused, but equally focused at least on the corporate side of things, where you are feeding your company's database into the system and then getting responses. Haven't seen that as much with Gemini. Not as much, and not as used, I guess, with Gemini outside of Google Workspaces. So if this is a way to maybe show off the chops of watch what happens when we feed it custom data. But if they do that, then I think arguably they're not marketing to consumers. They're marketing to, people up the chain. So it could be kind of a miss in that way.
I don't think they're going to tell people it's a custom model. That's my
Got
theory.
it.
I think there's going to be like, look at how our AI works, and they're going to have the interface. If they do like screenshots or they do some kind of live demo, I think they're going to have it look similar. I mean, I'm kind of veering into like advertising conspiracy land, or even, I don't know if that's legal, misrepresenting the product, but I think it could be a sign of Google trying to position its AI as a more mass market product, just like Google.com versus, like you said, enterprise, or Meta is doing all this open source stuff, which is really only something a skilled developer with a highly equipped computer could use, like all of those. So that's a totally different audience. And maybe by Google partnering with something as mass market, like everyone around the world's talking about it, maybe they're trying to say, like, you know, we're the every man, every woman's AI kind of thing.
That makes sense. Well, good luck to them, for sure. Thanks so much for watching this little chunk of Tech News Weekly. If you'd like to get the full episode, well, head over to twit.tv/TNW. There you'll find buttons you can click or tap to subscribe to the entire show in audio and video formats. Or just look in the description. We've got links down there as well.